As always, leveling up the battle pass in MW3 and Warzone can be a really long, really boring and really frustrating journey. But in this video I'm going to show you how to make it as quick and as easy as possible for the 5th season of MW3 and Warzone, and this video is going to provide the best and fastest ways to level up your tiers in the game. So be sure to stay tuned until the end of the video as it's packed full of tips, but if you do want to jump to a specific part or a specific mode, there'll be timestamps in the description and video chapters as well. Before we carry on with the video, if you're looking to permanently unlock the new MW3 Mastery camos, or play in bot lobbies to max out your guns and unlock camos quickly, or get your hands on an instant delivery pre-made account, then be sure to check out MitchCactus.com. These guys are the biggest and most reliable sellers with tons of offerings for MW3 with completely safe and legitimate services on all platforms. So far they've almost 10,000 reviews on Trustpilot, so if any of that sounds good to you guys, then make sure to use code RAGER for 5% off for a limited time only. Check out the link in the description. So first let's talk about the best ways to level up the battle pass in MW3 and Warzone, and then we'll talk about which modes are best overall. Starting out with MW3 and specifically multiplayer, what do you want to do? Well, in multiplayer, as with all modes, the most important factor as always is the time played. So more time actually played in the match, playing the game gets you more battle pass progression. That doesn't include, time loading in and out of lobbies or in the menu, that kind of thing. It has to be when you're actually in the game. So therefore you want longer matches so it's more efficient, and you also need to be getting a lot of XP as well. So you can't really affect the amount of time played other than just playing longer matches, but how can you impact the amount of XP you earn, which will have an effect on the battle pass progression rate as well? Well, there's a few things you can do. First of all, the game mode you choose is important. So modes like Rust, Shipment, Meat, Stash House, Das House, those kind of map mosh pits are the best, but they might not be out straight away when Season 5 launches, in which case there'll be some new maps, which are Yards and Bait, which are the new small and medium 6v6 maps for Season 5. There's also a couple of other maps, so there's Kelship and Toon Oxide, which are the Shipment and Rust variant maps, which you may or may not want to play, and then there's also the Ink House, which is a Stash House variant, which comes mid-season. So I would kind of play those new ones if there aren't the main small map mosh pit around when the season launches. Always try and play hardcore modes or variants of those map mosh pits if you can, if they're around. So next thing to focus on is your class. So I'm going to suggest a quick class setup. I would recommend you put on decoy grenades, use them every time you spawn in, as if an enemy nearby to it dies, you get XP as like assist XP, which can give you quite a lot of extra XP at the end of the game just by using them. Also make sure you're putting on lethals such as Semtex, Thermite or C4. Put on a field upgrade such as DDoS or Trophy System. I recommend DDoS because they're quite quick to recharge and easy to use. And then I'd recommend toggling from kill streaks to score streaks and put on ones such as UAV, counter UAV, and something like a sentry turret. If you use that class, keep using those things. They're going to count towards XP, so just keep using them as much as you can. And then in terms of actually what you need to do in the match, the first thing is obviously make sure you've got a good class for your actual weapon, as well as the other equipment which we've just mentioned. If you need to level up weapons to get better attachments, then do check out my weapon XP guide. I'll have a card on screen or a link in the description. Also make sure you're using all your kill streaks, equipment, and field upgrades as much as you can, and destroy enemy equipment, enemy kill streaks, and enemy field upgrades. Go for the objective as much as you can, like really push for it. This is one of the major factors. So especially ones like domination, kill confirm, those kind of ones, keep going for the objective over and over again. It's going to get you a ton of XP, and it's one of the major sources of XP. And then obviously get as many kills as you can. So if you do all that, you're going to get tons of XP. The next thing is about challenges. So people often kind of overlook this, but don't, because it's important. You get lots of extra XP. So for challenges, we've got up to 9 daily challenges across the modes. We've got up to 14 weekly challenges plus cool rewards. We've got the base MW3 calling card challenges, the seasonal challenges including the new ones for season 5, and there's the camo challenges, priceless, interstellar camos, and there's also new extra mastery camos coming. There was one in season 4 and there's a new one coming in season 5, which will be about probably getting a certain amount of XP when your weapon's fully leveled up, and that will get you a camo as well. So make sure you're doing those new camos. If you need help with any of the camos, then I have got a card on screen or a link in the description with some of the camo guides as well, so make sure you check them out. And basically just try and overlap the challenges as much as you can. So if you've got a camo challenge, a calling card challenge, and like a daily challenge, kind of try and pick the ones that will overlap and you can do as quickly as possible. That will probably be the best thing for you. Moving on to zombies now. So first thing, you want to bear in mind once again that longer matches are better than shorter ones, so you obviously want to survive for longer, and you want to also try and boost the XP earned from each aspect of the game. So at the end of the game, you'll see the following bonuses. So there's the exfil bonus, the zombie kills, activities completed, contracts completed, loot containers opened, points of interest visited, and miscellaneous items extracted. So obviously the more you do of each of those, the more XP you get, and therefore the better you do overall. The other thing I'd say don't forget is make sure you do the story missions, both of Act 1 to 3, the normal ones, and then the seasonal ones from Act 4, which we had from like Season 1 onwards, with the Dark Ether missions. Make sure you're doing those as well. So what do you actually want to do to boost the XP? So obviously make sure you're trying to do each of those things, but the main things I'd focus on is contracts. Contracts are great, they give you tons of XP and money really easily, so they are a really big help. Now before you start the game, I'd recommend putting on a field upgrade such as an energy mine. I would put on a Semtex grenade or a throwing knife or something, and then probably some decoy grenades as well. If you've got like pack-a-punch crystals and ether tools, that's great, put them on. If not, don't worry, you can upgrade your weapon in game. But the main contracts I'd focus on are Outlast, Bounty, and the Deliver Cargo contracts. If you can do it in tier 2 or tier 3, that's great. If not, tier 1 will be alright, but obviously you get less XP and money for it. But if you've got a good weapon that's leveled up, tier 2 should be absolutely fine. You shouldn't have any difficulty with that. Tier 3 can do them. It's a little bit harder and they're not quite as common. So probably actually would be better to do them in tier 2 if you can, because it's a balance of, yes, you get slightly less XP and money, but you can probably do more of them in the same amount of time. So therefore it's more worth it. What I found really helpful, there's 3 different things. So obviously you can do bounties, get a good weapon, you know, upgrade it with a pack-punch crystal and an ether tool, and go around just doing all the bounty contracts in tier 2. That's a really good way to do it. You can get through loads of them really quickly, and that gives you a lot of XP. And if you keep doing that all game, you're going to get a ton of XP, and then you'll do really well at the end of the game. Similar thing with Deliver Cargo contracts. Do all of them, although it can be a little bit slower than the bounties, so you can do some of those, but obviously they take a little bit longer. And then the third thing you can do, and then again, this doesn't have to be in the tier 3 or tier 2 zone, this can even just be in the tier 1 zone, is the Outlast contract. Now the reason I say that is because there is still this ongoing glitch, and I'm surprised they haven't patched this yet. There's still an ongoing glitch where if you do the contract, you activate it, you go to the area, it's the little contract with the satellite dish symbol, you go to the area, activate the PND, and then stay in that purple zone until you get to about 90 to 95% capture rate. Don't let it go to 100%, and ideally if you've got teammates, make sure they know that you're not trying to complete it. If they are, you probably want to leave the team and go to a separate one. They're going to think they're being helpful when they're actually not. Basically, you don't want to capture the 100%, let it get almost there and then step off. Now what that's going to do is it causes a lot of zombies to spawn, but what probably should happen is that once you step off after a little while, the zombies will kind of taper off and then they don't really come at you. Whereas at the moment, you step off and they'll just keep coming over and over again quite quickly. You get lots of zombies kills, and this is really good for doing camos, but also for getting a weapon XP and also for getting XP, because you're getting a lot of zombie kills. Each one is 20 weapon XP. It doesn't sound like a lot, but 5 is 100, 50 is 1,000, and so on. So it really doesn't take long to get a lot of XP. And what I actually found when I was doing camos recently is that literally just doing like maybe 1 or 2 Outlast contracts, once you've got loads of kills, you can complete the contract, but the main thing is actually just staying there, stepping off after a while, getting lots of kills, doing that over and over again is going to get you a lot of XP, a lot. And I seem to get a ton of battle pass tokens at the end. I'll show you probably at the start of this video how many, and quite a lot just from one game, almost 4 tokens. It's a really good way to do it. It's easier in some ways, a little bit more difficult and boring in other ways, but it's great because you don't have to do it in the high tier zones. Obviously when you finish or you got bored or it's near the end of the game, whatever, obviously you can finish the contract and then either leave or do something else, but this is really good. You can do it for a lot of the game and it's great. So those are the main contracts you want to do. On top of this, when you're finished, you want to head to the nearest exfil. There's still obviously a fair amount of zombies you can kill, so it's worth doing at least 1 round of exfil, if not more, where you kill all the zombies around the exfil zone. There's tons of zombies, a few bosses, lots of XP, and if you do the final exfil, you get a lot more bosses and therefore you'll get more XP. At the exfils, make sure you're using your weapon, field upgrade, your equipment, all of that stuff, and you're good to go. The other thing is, like I say, make sure you're completing dark ether missions, and then obviously for zombies you want to be doing challenges as well. So what challenges you want to do? Well, there's again the daily challenges, the weekly challenges, the base calling card challenges, the season 5 calling card challenges, as well as the other ones if you haven't done them, and finally the camo challenges as well. The Serpentine and Borealis camos. There's also separate camos for the Modern Warfare 2 weapons as well, which have been ported over to this game. So tons of camo challenges you can do. They will get you a lot of XP as well, and I found that that was really helping to boost the Battle Pass XP earn rate. So definitely try and do camos if you can. That's it for Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer and zombies. What about for Warzone? Well, in Warzone, once again, the most important factor is the time played, so try and last as long as you can in the match. You also want to make sure you're getting a lot of XP, so make sure you've got a good class on, level up your weapon to put on good attachments. You want to make sure you're doing more looting, so opening loot crates, which gets you more money to buy stuff, but also it gets you XP for opening containers. You want to get more kills, obviously. You want to be doing lots of contracts, specifically ones like Most Wanted, Intel and Scavenger. They're quite good. The big game bounty ones are alright too, and try to go between these fast with a vehicle. You want to survive for as long as you can if you're playing modes where it's about survival, as therefore you're spending more time in the game. And don't forget as well that you can get kills and XP in the pre-game lobby for getting weapon XP and battle pass XP. So what modes would I recommend playing for Warzone? Well, the main ones what I would recommend are small map modes, so for example Rebirth, and also in season 5 we've got Superstore as a new point of interest, but also a small map as well, so like a Superstore which has come back from Verdansk, which is nice. So we'll probably have ones like Rebirth, Lockdown and Superstore Resurgence, so play those if you want, and also Plunder's good too. I'm going to mainly talk about Plunder, but the same tips will apply to other modes such as Rebirth, Lockdown. Rebirth, Lockdown's great too, just as good, so it really kind of depends what you want to play. But for Plunder, what you want to do is spawn in, find an area of the map where it's more empty, you know, try and spawn somewhere away from the flight path. You basically want to get to first place by earning as much money as possible, so you want to be playing with other teammates and try and get them to help you as well. Run around opening as many crates as you can, but before that make sure you do the contracts. So like Most Wanted are good because you start a Most Wanted contract, and then every time you open a container, whether that's a first aid kit or a duffel bag or a loot crate or whatever it is, that will give you 100 XP and weapon XP, which is great, but it also gives you money as well, so it helps you do better in the Plunder match and you get lots of XP. So start a contract such as Most Wanted, open lots of loot containers, every one you can see. That's one of the main focuses actually. Sounds silly, but it gets you a ton of XP and weapon XP. Pick up all the cash you find lying around, try and kill some players as well and pick up money and gear from them. Do a few contracts like say like Most Wanted and keep doing as much as you can to stay ahead with the most money, kills and looting. Work for your teammates, and if you do that, you're likely to get first place like we did in our match. We got over 50,000 XP and we got good battle pass XP progress. You also obviously want to be doing the challenges again, the daily, weekly, camo, seasonal, and then trying to overlap all of these challenges to make it as quick as you can. So that's it for all the modes. Which mode would I say is best overall? As always, it kind of depends on how well you do on each mode. You want to try and prioritize matches that are longer but give you a good amount of XP. Generally, I would say Zombies has actually been probably the most efficient because you get a good amount of XP, especially if you're doing lots of contracts or if you're doing the Outlast glitch. That's quite good. High XP multiplayer modes can be similar as well, like Shipment Rust, those kind of small map mosh pits, but obviously they don't last as long, so you spend a bit more time in between games, which wastes a bit of time. So trying to play a longer match like Zombies is better. Warzone is great as well. It's very similar to Zombies. You just want to make sure you're doing lots of kills, looting, and contracts as well. So my favorite two probably are either Zombies or Warzone, but it kind of is up to you and what you want to play, really. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys found it helpful. If you did, be sure to drop a like on the video and check out my other Season 5 guides, like how to level up weapons, Zombies guides, weapon unlock videos, that kind of thing. And feel free to subscribe to stay up to date with all my latest MW3 and Warzone videos. I hope you found it useful, and I'll see you all on the next one.